Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and this is my Crafty Dan, and I am going to do a craft with me today. I figured this is a good day to just sit and do things indoors today because we have some terrible winter weather happening outside right now. We got a bunch of snow yesterday, some freezing rain on top of it, a little bit of sleet happening, and today it's blowing cold, it's drifting snow, the winds are just vicious out there. So I thought what I was doing was sitting and trying to figure out what kind of a series I can work on. I haven't done any kind of a series for a very, very long time. And it's Monday, and I've seen so many people do Memorydex Monday shares on YouTube that I thought Monday would be a really good day to do a Memorydex series. So I'm really hoping that you'll join along with me. All I want is work on a Memorydex card on Monday with me while I craft a card. I'll do one each week. You can do it for any style that you want to. I think on the holiday weeks that we should do a holiday theme. So that doesn't necessarily mean Easter or Christmas. It means the holidays that you personally celebrate. So regardless of your nationality, your religion, what those holidays are, make a card that is important to you on those holiday weeks. And the other prompt was on your birthday week, do a birthday prompt. So yeah, so I'm thinking that you could do this along with me for I don't even know how long I'll keep it up. I may do it for months. I might do it for a full year. I may enjoy this just as a Monday routine. A lot of people want to know where you purchase Memorydex cards, and I have a piece of watercolor paper because it's a heavy enough weight cardstock. So any neutral colored cardstock would do, because this is just your background, your template basically. Let's put this the right way. My cards are 4 inches by 3 inches. So I'm trying to remember how I do this. I've got a stack of them. I actually have a little stack of them. So let's see. I just keep things like this in little tubs from the dollar store. I buy stacks of tubs when they're 4 or 5 for $1 and store small bits in them. So a 1 and a 2 and there's not enough room for a 3. So a 1 and a 2, and I do 3 inches. So that must be how I do it. So I'm going to cut this 4 inches. That's definitely how I do it, because this is an 8-inch wide paper, guys. My front cover was missing, so I couldn't look. So I always make mine 3 inches, 3 by 4 inches. A Memorydex card is traditionally 4 inches wide, and I know most of us don't care about the height. I know I don't like to make mine much more than 4 inches tall, but I keep mine in a box with no lid on it, so I really don't care how tall they are. So yeah, I get 6 out of a sheet of paper. Now I happen to be lucky enough that a year or so ago, I was on on Amazon, and these things are hardly ever in stock. This is the Heidi Swap Memorydex Punch, and they had these in stock on Amazon and they were on sale. I can't remember what I got it for, but these are incredible because you can take your 4 inches, fit your 4-inch piece directly. There's a gold line here and a gold line here. Make sure your card is centered right between those 2 gold lines, and just punch this out, which makes it really easy for me. It doesn't take me any time at all to make a nice big stack of these cards. I still have a whole bunch of them in that little plastic container. So there we go. So that is how you use the Heidi Swap Punch, and it gives you these cards with this these are like Rolodex cards, the old-fashioned Rolodex that you kept all your phone numbers and addresses on, and it was a wheel. And yeah, if you ever see one of those in a thrift store, just grab it up, because those things are amazingly fun to just put your cards on. But I keep mine in a box. I don't even know where my box is right now. I think it's still in a closet. But if you don't have a punch, I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is 4 inches. So I am going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark at the 2-inch mark. Then from that 2-inch mark, because that's the center, I'm going to come over a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to come over a 1/2 inch, and that's where I'm going to punch my holes. Measure in. I'll show you where I get this number from. So I took this card. If I put this card on here and I draw a little line at the top of this hole, the very top of it, that is just over 1/4 of an inch, about 3/8 of an inch up. I'm going to take my little punch. I'm going to line up this hole right at that mark, and I'm just going to punch a hole like that. And then all you have to do is take your scissors and cut a little bit of this out like that. And that'll work just like these holes. So it'll work just the same way. So today I'm going to just grab one of my blank cards. So I think I'm going to do little themes for myself. You don't have to do this, and you don't have to use these same prompts. But I think I'm going to do the first few as a winged theme. So flying insects, birds, butterflies, anything that flies, anything that you've got a magazine cut out for, or a die cut of that you could use for your focal image, that would be perfect. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get out my Mod Podge. And the first thing that I'm going to do, because I like a vintage theme, so I'm going to take a little piece of this pattern paper, and I'm going to, just because I love the color of it, and I'm just going to cut myself a piece. And I'm going to Mod Podge that to this. I'm just going to grab something to put down for to protect my table. I'll just use this placemat. I find it's easier to wash Mod Podge and paint and stuff off this placemat than it is to wash it off my table. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. So I really hope when you're watching this, that when I do a craft with me, because that's what this is, that you pause the beginning of the video once you find out what I'm doing, and that you go get your supplies, set them up, sit down, put the video back on, and just craft while we're having a chat. And I'm going to put a little bit down on the top. This is the only problem that I have with using watercolor paper for mixed media projects, is that the watercolor paper curls so darn quick when you get it wet on one side. This is, of course, I don't think a regular watercolor paper does this. I'm not a watercolor artist. I'm only using watercolor paper from the dollar store. So yeah, it's not even real. And it's just textured paper. I can't see a watercolor artist ever using this because it does not take the watercolor paints as nice as, I've only had one good watercolor pad ever, and it was a hot pressed, I think it was a hot pressed cotton paper. And it actually took watercolor way different than this stuff does. So I don't think this is real watercolor paper. So yeah. So I'm going to dry this up. So that was a little bit of an interruption. My plow guy for my driveway just showed up, and I had to go out and clean my car off, get it out of the driveway so he could plow the driveway out. And yes, I'm all ready to go now till the next snowfall. Yeah, it feels like it's been a long winter already. And I'm complaining, and I know my friends back in Ontario have been getting the worst winter that they've had in, well, as long as I can remember anyway, and I'm 70. So yeah, so I have this down and dried. I flipped this over because this was just blending in with that placemat a little bit too much. But that now is this beautiful vintagey color. I think I'm going to do this one as a collage. And I'm going to put a little bit of music paper on here. I'm going to put some coffee dyed paper on here. This is pretty big. I have a whole box of really strong coffee dyed papers. So they have a lot of these almost burn marks. I dried them in my oven, so they've got some really crazy colors in them. I also have some of these Admit One tickets. I think I'll use one of these on there. I have all these receipts. This is what they use in a restaurant when they take your order. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on here. Maybe over here like this. I'm going to put a little bit of this on here. I don't know if I want to use this now. I'm going to save this for another piece because I want these vintagey colored papers on here. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to use to glue these down is just my art glitter glue, because this is not going to get cut up. So I don't actually have to glue every little piece down of it. I can glue around the edges. Does anyone else find that it's always getting plugged up when you go to use it again? There. Yeah, I've only been using it for about 6 months, I guess. And I wanted to get some for a long, long time because people kept saying how good it was. And yeah, I got the refill kit when I bought it because it was cheaper to buy it that way. It was cheaper by the ounce that way than it was to just buy the bottle. So you get this, you get the tip, and the bottle, the big bottle of refill with it. And I just refilled it. So I've only gone through one bottle of this. That's how new I am to it. I am going to put this on here. Oh, now my nose is running. It's so cold outside. So cold. It's one of those really, the snow's blowing still. It's not snowing anymore, but the snow's blowing. And we got snow and then we got sleet on top of it. So it was just awful. So there was a crust and it's really wet, the snow that we did get. So it's heavy, really hard to shovel. Oh, yeah. So I've been out doing my best, trying to get it cleaned up a little bit, but it's almost too much for me. I go out and do a little wee bit and then do a little bit more, and but I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. So I do miss the husband not being here for that though, because yeah, it's nice when you're in here doing something nice and cozy like dishes and he's outside snowing, cleaning up snow. So I like to keep my bottom as trim as I can, just nice and trim. And then the Indiana Ticket Company, I think I'm going to put this down here in this corner, maybe up here in this corner on top of that. Yeah, so now I'm playing. So not very much at all. So that's my background. And I'm going to just keep building up layers on this until I can put my focal point on. So I have a little bin here with butterflies and, there's a beetle. It's the beetle's fly too, but, I like that. And that would be kind of pretty on top of that background like that. And it's just about the right size. So I don't mind if it hangs off the side because this doesn't go on a Rolodex wheel. If it hung off the side, it might catch, but it doesn't. It fits in my box and I've got an inch, where I always make my boxes so that I have at least an inch on both sides, sometimes even wider. And I don't mind if it sticks off the top either. So I could even do it like this, put it up here like this. So I'm gonna look for one that's that size. Let me see. Oh, I love that one. Ooh, it might have to be that one. Yeah, maybe. So, and if I put it something like this, it won't affect the holes and it won't stick out too far, top and side. The reason I'm picking my focal point now is because that will tell me how much color and what else I'm going to add to this card. You can always go with the traditional orange and black. Here's another orange butterfly, different type. That's really pretty. Really, really pretty. But I don't like the white. I don't feel like fussy cutting it out today. Some of them aren't cut out as much as others. Some of them are really good like this, and they don't have a big white border on them. And then some of them don't. Ooh, that's different. But again, that white border, and I just don't feel like it. I'll sit down in front of the television and cut some of the white border off. So I think it's going to be this one right here. I think I'm going to go with this one. So it has a little bit of this brown and kind of some tan, a little bit of that orangey color in there, and then that beautiful gold foil. So that's going to be my focal point. Another win for Dollarama. I'm going to put some flowers on here, I think, and I want some colored papers in this background now. I've got a little bin here with all kinds of colored papers in it. That's too much the color of the butterfly. These are the scrap papers that I've been using for the full deck challenge that I'm doing with Chinooki Art. So I've got all kinds of bunches of colored papers in this little bin. I don't know if that's what I want to do. I'm having a hard time deciding, guys. Do you guys ever have that trouble that you have a plan in your head? You sit down at the table, you put your first piece of paper on, something interrupts you, and then your whole plan's gone out of your head, and you don't know what you're doing anymore. So I'll be right back. I'm going to try something else. So I went through my stash, and I got out this stencil, which is really pretty. It's got some script. It's got some designs on it. It's just a kind of a mix of a little bit of everything. And I also have some of this worn penny metallic, and I think I'm going to put it on this stencil, and that will give me, you'll be able to still see the stuff behind it. I'll be able to have a little bit of dimension and depth to it then. I'm just going to put a little bit on that paper and use it right off the paper. So it doesn't take much to make a pretty Memorydex card. And I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to get some of this on my paintbrush. And I'm just going to do this. There, that gives it a lot more depth. That's giving it more of what I'm looking for. I don't think I can see as much of this script as I want to. So I'm going to try to replace this just on the same spot and go over this script here just a little bit right here in the center. Just a little bit. There, I like that. And I always like having a little bit of that shine on a card. I'm going to use my vintage photo from Ranger, and I am going to distress my edges. Now, is that background starting to look like it matches this butterfly just a little bit better? And I'm happier with it now. So I want, the next thing I have to do before I forget is I am going to grab my punch again, and then I'm going to line up I'm going to line this up. You can see the paper on the front through the holes. So it allows you to line that up and repunch those holes in the exact same place. So that's good. I forgot to do it a couple of times and then glued a few more things on top, and the punch won't only go through at the very most a decent cardstock, not even a really heavy one. So I think I want my butterfly to go on here like this, and I want some words on here, and then I want some flowers on here. So I'm going to find my words. I'm going to dig out my flowers. I'm going to find some little pearls. I'm going to use these silk flowers. And I'm going to go for, I don't want the bright pinks and yellows and stuff. I'm looking for these dark blue greens. Something that's a little vintage, a little faded. There, those ones will do. I'll need this. I like the blue-gray color. And yeah, I think it's going to come together really well. I have to do a bit of thinking about it as I'm going through. So I wanted a vintage background. I think I accomplished that. I wanted a butterfly or something with wings, and I've got that. I wanted something from nature, that'll be flowers. So I am going to glue on my butterfly because I want to do that next. Maybe like that. Then I can see a little bit of this ticket. I can see a little bit of the number. I can see a little bit of this restaurant notepad thingy. And I can see the doily, the paper doily. And lots of this worn penny is showing behind too. So I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to glue it down quite well. It was this wing that doesn't have to have glue all over it. And there. So I've got that on there. Then I'm going to put these flowers down. I found that the best way to put flowers down on a card was with glossy accents, because it'll stick to anything. These have a hole in the center because I've taken that plastic center out. So I'm going to put a little dab of glossy accents down. Just a little bubble like that. Then I'm going to drop that hole right on top of it. Give it a little smush down. And then I'm going to find myself a little pearl. And I'm going to drop that pearl into the glossy accents. Like that. There. So I've got that little cluster there. I love that. I have to be careful not to touch that now. This is not going to set up very fast. It's not one of those instant things. So you don't want to knock those around. And then what I'm going to do now is put my word on. There, I've got these words. I've got all kinds of Tim Holtz words, but I got these words from Temu quite some time ago. I've used a few of them. You have to be a little bit careful because sometimes, they come from China, so sometimes they lose things in the translation. I like this. Every road should have a path. I'm going to glue it down first, like this. I mean, I know it's a sticker, but yeah, I don't want it coming back off. So I'm just going to put some dots of glue down. That'll hold it permanently. And then the sticker will actually make it grab right away. So that's good. I better put the lid on this. Having anything small like this and open on my desk is just an accident waiting to happen. And I don't think I need any pearl drops or anything like that because I've got the actual pearls on there. I think they're going to stay down. Nothing's moving when I give it a little jiggle. I know I can brush it off with my hand, but already it's not moving. So that's a good sign. And then I am going to take... This is just a hard charcoal pencil. And I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to do some sketchy lines around the words. Just like that. And I'm going to call this one done. So it doesn't take a whole lot to create them. I have some background papers on there, just some coffee dyed papers. I have some flowers. I have a focal point, and I have a sentiment on there. And it's enough. It's just enough. I love the dimension. I love that there's layers. Like you can see lots of layers in it, which kind of creates that depth. And this gives it a little bit of dimension with the silk flowers. I like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am going to try posting just a little short Memorydex craft with me on Mondays for the next little while. If you'd like to join me, then just get out your Memorydex supplies. I'll try to post it Monday morning. So anytime on Monday when you have time to craft, just grab out your supplies, craft along with me, make a Memorydex card. Somewhere in this Memorydex journey that I'm taking, I'm going to make a box. It can be something as simple as this. These are the little trays that you get for $2 at Dollarama, but it's the right width. All you have to do is put your little thing in the bottom and you've got an acrylic tray. There's about 1 inch on each side, so this would work wonderfully. Then all you have to do is run either a couple of dowels. I've even used a couple of paper straws down the bottom to make a little track to sit them on. And you can store them that way, and they look lovely sitting on a tabletop. A nice little tray, the acrylic tray would look lovely. So a nice little tray full of Memorydex cards sitting on top of your coffee table even would look cute. And because I do the white paper, you can write quotes on the back as well if you want to. So please consider joining me for a little Memorydex fun on Mondays. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love if you would do that now so that you can come back and watch some of my other videos. And I'll see everyone in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a wonderful day.